up? This is your boy Chris from DJM Garage, and today we'll be doing a beginner's guide on what tools are necessary for your garage, or even if you are having tools in the car, necessary tools. So we're gonna get into the tools aspect of things today, starting with spanners. So we have different type of spanners here, right? From 27 straight all the way to 8 spanner, right? We even have a 7 spanner as well, right? So spanners are used to slacken bolts, nuts. Once your hand could fit, it could fit, right? Then we would have a situation where we have a spanner and we have not enough room, right? So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about, right? So this is our spanner here. One end is a ratchet and the other end is an open end, right? So first things first, we need to know what is slackening and tightening on a vehicle, right? Everything deals with clockwise and anti-clockwise on a vehicle when you are slackening bolts. This is a misconception that a lot of people usually get wrong, but we want to clear up the air today, right? So when it is you're analyzing your bolt, first thing you're watching your bolt to make sure that it has no sign or wear, because you don't want to use the improper tools or try to slacken something that already has wear on it, because you could damage it in the result of trying to slacken it, right? So first thing that we do, we observe the bolt and we notice that the bolt looking good, right? So we would put our tool on it, and if we are slackening, you would go anti-clockwise, right? Lefty loosey. And if you are tightening, it would be clockwise, righty tighty, right? So let us slacken this here and let us see. So this, what we're doing here this way, is actually tightening, right? So what we would need to do is to flip the ratchet and we would automatically go to the other direction, right? Listen, right? So that is how you would slacken our bolt. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, right? So now we would tighten it back. You see how we are turning the spanner to the right direction clockwise. The next thing we'll be talking about is sockets, right? So it is advised that you get a kit that's starting from 8 all the way to 24 or 32, right? So that this would ensure that you could do basically anything on a car, right? So let's get straight into it. So this here is an extension. This is a short extension. This here is a ratchet, half inch drive. Why we would say it's a half inch drive? Because we would call this the drive where the socket enters and latches into the ratchet itself, right? This here is for slackening and tightening. So this way is the slacken, right? So you see, anti-clockwise, lefty loosey, and if we need to tighten something, it's like this. See, tightening. This is a misconception that a lot of people normally get confused with, where you mix up slackening and tightening, right? So this here is a slide bar. This is like if you need to crack a bolt on your tire or your rim or wherever, right? This, so you could use this as leverage. And this here is a real important thing. This is a flex joint. So this flex joint is used for like hard to reach areas. So for example, if it is you need to slacken a bolt probably by the alternator, you would get your socket onto it and it would slacken it at an angle, right? This joint is able to maneuver and twist, so you would be able to slacken things properly in hard to reach areas, right? And then we have the wide variation of sockets, right? Something that is always go missing is 10, 12, 13, 14. I don't know why, but as you can see, my kit is lacking, right? So it's very important. So we have different type of ratchets. We have quarter drive, we have 3/8, and we have half inch, right? So this is a half inch, like what I was telling you all before, is the same drive from the green kit, right? So that is our half inch drive, and those drives are only applicable for half inch sockets, right? You wouldn't be able to use a 3/8 drive in a half inch, right? Every drive is dedicated to its own sockets, right? So if you notice, we have small sockets here, and when it is you take it out, you'll notice that the drive is very small, right? This drive cannot work here. It could work in this one, however, which is a 1/4 inch, right? So different types of drives are necessary. You need different types of sockets, you need different types of ratchets, you need different types of spanners, and it goes on. So this here now, star tips, right? As you jump on them causing havoc here, right? So we have star tips. This would be applicable for like things like gearbox nut, transmission nut, diff oil nut, you know. So we have a wide range of a selection here, right? Oh, and this here, this is a different type of filter tool. Actually, forget this one. It's a different type of filter tool. I hardly ever use this because I don't like the mechanism of it, you know. But this is another filter tool as well. And this is a 3/8. This is for the 3/8 drive. See? The next thing is an oil filter tool. So you can't really have a garage and don't have an oil filter tool. You need to take out people's filters. And most times a filter doesn't be something easy to come out, because sometimes you leave the oil beyond the 5,000 kilometers, and then, you know, things under heat, it tend to create thermal expansion, and then that sees up there, and then they fight it up with this little thing. So have an oil filter, very, very, very necessary, right? In our other future videos, we will show how to use our oil filter, but this video is basically to explain the tools that is necessary for a beginner's garage, right? So oil filter tool. Right, the next thing is a blade. You need a blade. A blade is very, very, very crucial as well. Sometimes it may have a hose that is dry rot and it's hard to pull out. You can't use the pliers because of, you know, the spacing, right? So then we will have a blade. The blade will be used to like cut hose or cut a tie strap or things like that, right? So a blade, very important. Right, so the next thing that you normally need in a garage is pliers, right? So we have a normal pliers here, right? And this is used for like taking out hose clamps, even self, you know, you're locking a 10 spanner, you might just use our pliers, you know. The other thing is our nippers, right? This is used for like cutting wire, cutting metal, cutting anything, you know. So this is a very handy tool. The other thing is a flathead. Most people think a flathead is not really an important thing, but it is very, very crucial, right? So there are two types of screwdrivers. We have a flathead screwdriver, and then there's a Phillips screwdriver, right? It's just for different applications. So for example, somewhere over here I see a screw. I feel like this screw was there for the demonstrational purposes, right? So we have a screw, right? This is our Phillips screw, and when it is, you put it in, you can turn it. Notice the tip. You notice the tip is like a cross. We will call this a Phillips screwdriver, right? Very important. So if it is you need to slacken something, you will turn anti-clockwise, lefty loosey. If you need to tighten something, righty tighty, right? The next thing on the list is our G-clamp, different sizes. Sometimes you need to pry something, sometimes you need to press something, sometimes even when you're doing a brake change, you need a G-clamp, or you could use the caliper, pressers, tools. But I love a G-clamp, you know, because two things. It's cheaper. Well, right now a G-clamp not really all that cheap, but the tool that they're actually selling to send in a caliper piston is about $200-300 right now, and I think a G-clamp does last longer because I had tools like that and it don't last, right? So G-clamps, different sizes, necessary. Thing is our vice grip. Our vice grip is probably like one of the most underlooked tools. Like our vice grip could basically do everything that I now show you about. Like all them other tools, this vice grip doing that. Slackening a bolt, yes. Sending in a caliper, no. Taking out hose, yes. Bursting a hose, yes. Right? Our vice grip, very, very important, right? So we would use our vice grip in situations for, let us say, you're changing brakes on a car and the guide pins stick, right? So we would use our vice grip and we would wiggle. Oh, and you know the next thing, boy? You know the next thing is a hammer, boy. a hammer. A hammer is a real important thing. That's the next thing that is go missing. Like this is a special kind of pliers here, and this is a underlook tool. It's an underdog tool. Why I say that? Because this is a tool that I actually it took a very long time to find this tool in Trinidad, right? And sometimes you're taking out a hose, and the hose may not how I can say, may not be very forgiving, you know. So basically what this tool is for, let us say a hose is on my finger here, right? And we're trying to pull it out and it can't come out. What you would do with this tool, you would put it at the center and then you would push the hose backwards, right? So this is basically to allow the workflow to be easier where hoses are concerned, right? So very, very important tool. I don't even know the name of this, but it's good. It's a hose removal tool. That's what we call it. This is a hose removal tool, guys, right? So good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. It's a real serious thing, you know. And a chisel, you know, really important. So everything in our car does require roughing up and pumping, especially with the suspension is concerned. You ain't want to be building over an engine and you're using a hammer and a chisel to slap in the piston rings. You know, it have tools for that, but we'll get into that eventually. So this application is to take out things, slacken things, things that are rusted, things that need to move. You know, it's something that real underlook too, boy. You see this tool here for metal clamps? Boy, rolling. You see this here? Like, not much people have this. This here like gold, bro. Right? So basically this clamp. Wow. So basically this clamp is used for like axle dust boots and thing. You know? We don't use tie straps over here, bro, for axle dust boots. Right? It's metal clamps. So normally most cars they would have a metal clamp on the axle. Right? Straight out of Japan it would have a metal clamp like this. And in order for you to tighten this clamp, you need this tool. Right? So necessary if you're dealing with axles, you need this metal clamp tool. Next thing is pipe wrench. You need different sizes of pipe wrench. We have about 3 different sizes of pipe wrenches there, and everyone have its own purpose. Right? So this is for like slackening bolts, nuts, hard to reach things. Or if you have a vice grip on one end and then you have a pipe wrench on the next end, you can slacken things. Right? So necessary, pipe wrench. And last but not least, you need a scanner. Everything you do have a scanner, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot be a mechanic. Because then you are diagnosing cars based on guess. And personally, we do not promote that. So if it is you have an issue, you're creating a garage from scratch, make the sacrifice and get a scanner. Very important. So that you can save yourself the headache and you can save the client headache as well. You know, so I want to say, stay tuned. We have more things coming in stock. Subscribe, like the channel, share to everybody, because every day we try our best to drop something new and to create that awareness around cars, you know. So stay tuned, guys. DGM out.